time. So I think FaZe's first ban here is going to be the Lion.
It would be amazing if there was a change of heart now, but yeah.
And Liquid have banned out the mirror on both maps as well, so I think we're definitely going to see the mirror. However, that attacker ban from Liquid is always a little bit of a mixed bag here. I think that it is probably going to be the Thinker, just because Yuna just loves that.
Yeah, well, obviously the Thinker was banned out the first time, and then they swapped out for the Buck on Coastline. You even saw it in the chat there. Spreadio. I'm not going to try and pronounce that again. My Portuguese is terrible. But they are familiar, as you've said, with each other's playstyle. They're familiar with what to ban and what to take out of any potential equation. There's a lot of thought going here for Liquid's attack ban.
But it is actually going to be the Book. So yeah, they're going to be banning the Book again. And the Book on...
Bank.
The Book on Bank. Kind of suggests a more CEO defense coming out from Liquid potentially, but was he the defense ban? Of course, it could be the mirror yet again, and therefore pretty much expecting yet another Clash ban coming out here sooner rather than later from FaZe.
Yeah, obviously the usuals we've seen, as you mentioned, Echo is brought very rarely in these guys' play styles, whereas Clash is one that we know that Team Liquid have been able to bring to a fight. And at this point, FaZe are going to think, yep, there it goes. Take it out of their defensive lineup. We don't really need it, but they are very good with it. Let's not roll any more dice. Let's not risk any more of these kind of...
You know, I was so confident that they were going to ban the Clash that I already wrote Clash down in my notebooks. So I was, yeah.
Predictions.
I was so glad that they did actually ban the Clash. But it's interesting that over 2 maps, we've only seen the Diffuser go down 6 times.
Yeah, and I think over the entire 2 play days, we've only seen it just go into double figures only about 10, 11 times total. It's very much that's not how these guys want to play, and I would say Bank is a bit more familiar to get plants down. I would say if there's a map that's generally one where you can find ways to get the Diffuser at least into the building and into the room, there's a few points in this where it's easier than on other maps.
The thing about this Locker's the Locker's CCTV room defense is that it's all about baiting out utility from the defenders. So it's going to be how much plant denial do you have, and how much of that can the attackers take off the board. And already, I feel like the operator setup isn't right here for either team. But we'll see how it works out. I mean, again, from Liquid, we're seeing this very heavy concentration of a mix of hard breaching and smoke usage coming out from them. But I feel like there should be a Zofia on the board here, or something like that to deal with Maestro cams, to deal with bulletproof cams. Maybe an IQ to deal with Valkyrie cameras and Echo. But that brings up another point. There's no Echo from FaZe. And while I can kind of see why there's no Echo from them, because where in that lineup do you really fit it in? You kind of need most of these operators that are here. I know there's a lot of stuff that could be used here by FaZe that they're not using, and whether they're hiding strategies that they might use at LAN, or this is just not part of how they want to defend Bank, remains to be seen. But normally you want to see an Ella or someone like that, or maybe even a Yig shotgun here from FaZe. In fact, our observer could look at Astro and see what he's doing there on the server room stairs, because I'm expecting that he is actually running the M870 here. And I'd be surprised if he didn't run it.
You can see him, yeah, he's rotating down there.
Oh no, he's not running.
416, no, it's very good guns either way. Obviously, close quarters shotgun Jaeger can be an absolute monster, but they've also got double hard destruction, so it'll be interesting to see how they want to play that, whether they want to throw, obviously, Thermite through into server, or they're going to start picking up drop downs with the Habana. It'll be interesting to see which way they want to run that, or they just throw everything. Server room. Nesk instantly trying to find and close down Pulse. They pick off, which is playing around deep in server by the looks of it, has seen further footprints, and Jackal, he loves those footprints because they're going to head the other way and start opening drop downs. This slow and steady roam clear, clarifying. There's no one from FaZe playing that wide, although they look like they're about to find someone on square stairs. However, the drones are still popping around. Mav getting quite aggressive down tunnel with the Pulse, just wanting to warn, get the pre-warning. Yeah, they're coming. There's the Jaeger spot as well.
Definitely, the Jackal tracking is going to start coming out from Nesk, so that is going to give away Astro's position. He's going to have to retreat all the way out service stairs, and that was very smart from Liquid, honestly. Really heads up plays coming up from them. But oh no, Astro's actually returned to that position. I don't think Nesk has realized it. But no, he will now, and that is really screwed over Astro now, because not only do they know that he's there, they've also completely cut off his rotate, but no one was watching it! How has he managed to get out of there for free? That was a perfect free kill for them, and Liquid just gave away the opportunity to take off one of the top fraggers from FaZe.
Yeah, that was the luck of whatever God was looking down on Astro, but Mav gets Sexy Cake. That is the C4 dropping the Hibana. Hibana did manage to get arguably the most important drop down for control at this point. Plant, but you still had a lot of utility left. There's still 2 more drop downs that can be pretty influential in taking this point. Now, Bullet is starting to push a bit closer. You can hear Thermite setting the charge, clearing up. Cameraman has rotated a bit further back to loading docks. They've realized all of the push is coming against or from server. So let's start setting up against it. And it's turning into a flat fight as Nest goes in for that plant. Glass watching over the shoulder. No, it was Yuna who drops Zig even. Zig going for the plant. Yuna gets the frag there, and the trades are going across, picks up the diffuser, and accidentally drops it as well. Has to pull out of there quite quickly.
Yeah, it's a 3v4 situation now, and pretty interesting strategy coming out from Liquid to try and go for the plant, and what Yuna through the smoke does shut down the diffuser plant, and that may just be round 1, but Bullet with a triple kill almost brings it in, but Astro runs in, he trades back Bullet, and they run out of time. Absolutely beautiful players coming out from both sides there, but unfortunately, Team Liquid could just not make that diffuser stick to the floor. I thought it was kind of interesting how they went for that. So it's 45 seconds left to go, and they only just managed to get control of a server. Normally, that is a spell for disaster, but what they did was they opened up the server wall. They opened up both of the server walls, looking into CCTV. And then they made it look like that Zig was going in for the plant at the default spot, but then they had 2 people who were actually ready to go into the plant onto the sort of opposite end of that. So nice little strategy coming out there from Liquid. I honestly really like the idea behind it. However, the only problem was that they did not have the utility of the board to really go through with that and make it work.
Well, you saw the smoke coming down and pushed out, and it caused a little bit of chaos. When the diffuser did get dropped, obviously ran in to try to collect it, and then looked like they went for the plant. The joyous thing where it is the same key, separate. The diffuser went back to the floor. That'll be interesting to see if they've got any more cheeky tricks as we go. However, we're going upstairs. They're setting up. They've got a generally similar loadout. The IQ is being taken by Sexy Cake. I know you've had strong opinions about wanting an IQ on the board.
Yeah, and this is the first time we've seen an IQ the entire series, so I am glad to finally see that IQ coming from Sexy Cake. But it is also good that we are seeing, the pulse and the echo coming out from FaZe, and as I said, the book being banned is going to suggest a very heavy concentration of this upstairs defense. Although, I'm kind of surprised on the lack of ACOGs coming out here, because without a mirror, it's kind of hard to hold on to this conservative.
Yeah, it's one of those points where obviously people know the way to know the tricks, and there's always big planes of destructibility around almost all of you. You're never really sure if you're entirely safe. Cameraman testing out just the windows, making sure no one's instantly there. Mav is pulsing across, but it looks like they're setting up on those huge lobby windows. Sexy Cake is digging down from above. Now, where they're going to kind of set up the IQ, how close they want that to play against things. Obviously, on the Echo, which is, again, another operator you've so desperately wanted to be brought to the field, and all of them are coming at once. It's like a Christmas for you. But it'll be interesting to see how they start to counterplay against each other when it seems to be rarer picked, it seems to be rarer played by these guys.
Yeah, no, that is definitely very true indeed. We'll go through now into 1 minute into the action phase, but not a whole lot of movement coming out just yet. We are seeing Nesk on his traditional role of Zofia, and the last times that I've seen Liquid attack this, especially during the last OGA pit, they tended to spend quite a lot of time outside just sort of northwest area. We saw Nesk rappelling outside that front door area, trying to get some picks where he could. But, FaZe are playing this correctly against how Liquid normally would play this attack. How they're playing this conservatively. Even though they don't have a mirror, it's fairly hard to do that. But Liquid haven't really gained upon that advantage at all. They've wasted a lot of time already. Hopefully they don't continue to do so.
What cost them in the previous round as well. Just the little amount of time they left themselves. Nesk takes care of Cameraman as the castle dropped, but obviously the castle He's already thrown his protections up on those big windows that people, or especially Glaz, so does love to shoot through. Starting to push against Astro. They know he's hiding in the lobby, but did not see the Echo drone. And Astro with some beautiful pickup there. Brilliant teamwork between the Echo and the Jaeger. And you can see Astro's getting a bit more aggressive, knows people are sitting, and the reveal through the smoke. Astro takes care of Zig, and the diffuser goes down.
What a disaster coming out here for Liquid, and they don't refrag Astro either. He stays alive on 1 HP in a dream as Nest tries to make his way in. Says Gate starts to rappel up, and Nest does find his entry frag. There goes Mav. I just try and recover the diffuser now as well. Moving in, seeing what he can do here. But it's going to be Moringa who just managed to take down Sexy Cake. All of this utility coming out from Nesk and turns it into a 2v2. Moringa with a shotgun. What? Yes, he wins the fight. Thank God for that. And PSK is in a 1v2. Let's see if he can bring it in. He does manage to find one, but no, actually, that was a missed headshot. Yuna does take him down. FaZe Clan take round number 2 in another very, very close defense coming out from them.
Well, you wanted to see an Echo, and boy, did we see Echo. That was a beautiful play to drop Unit there on the Glaz, and then the aggressive continuation as we saw the smoke dissipates, and that was an easy pickup there, and then getting the hell out of there without actually being picked off as well. Wow, that is what we like to see from a defense up there, especially.
I know we don't say that that frags really matter that much, but I'm pretty sure that Zig hasn't dropped a kill in 12 rounds now in a row. And that's going to feel pretty bad.
Well, we did see some brilliant stats actually tweeted at us, which we're hoping to see again after the end of this. But Zig might not want to see those.
Yeah,
might not want to see this.
I don't think he would want to see those at all. We are going to move through onto a Teller's Office and Archives defense. Of course, that objective rotation parameter of 2. Meaning that FaZe will have to try and rotate their objective around. I won't say exactly how it's going to go down for them, but I think this is the one objective where
need to locate and defuse as many bombs
Liquid could pretty easily get a win here. Because of the vertical play is much more possible without the book. But they've not actually brought a sledge for this, despite the fact they had to know it's either going to be here or open office.
They haven't, no, obviously they've still got Nest running. Sophia managed to get quite deep into point, managed to pick up at least a frag, and then the trade with a shotgun, which is not the most common close quarters trade, but hey, someone could pull it off. It is Nest, but then that's generally about it. I'll also be interested to see where they throw Bullet on the Glaz. But it is Bullet on the Glaz, and how they decide to push that Glaz to the point, because obviously there's some teams that like to play their Glaz close, and Glaz close is a monster. So you've got that fire rate buff a couple of patches ago, but then you've also got those big windows. You cover runouts, and you slowly close down from people running out on either garage or above. You're kind of safe. How safe can you really be in Siege? That'll be interesting to see how they decide to push and take this.
Nesk has actually already made his way all the way through into the lobby. What is this? He gets all the way in. Hashro goes down. They don't even know he's here. He's already into the site. How does Nesk do it? He has perfect info here. There's a beautiful drone coming out here from PSK. Does manage to give him a little bit of info. Concussion nades are already going to go. That's a very early smoke coming out as well as Cameraman just drops Bullet to the floor. And Moringa does go down. Zig finds his kill onto Cameraman. That's his first kill of the round. And that's going to be a 4v2 situation now. Not looking too good for FaZe. They've lost complete control of the site here. It's all down to Yuna and Mav to try and retake. But they don't really have any control. They're just letting their emotions go. And there we go. PSK takes down Yuna. And now it's all into the hands of Mav in a 4v1 clutch situation. Goes for the wallbang onto Nest, but can't quite connect those shots. Tries to push through onto admin office. Has the rotate, but what a shot from Nesk. Takes the head clean off Mav. And just outstanding plays coming out from Liquid, but especially from Nesk to just get so quickly into the site. And I think that's the first time that we've seen a Liquid rush go that well.
Yeah, it was a Nesk rush. That was almost like he spawned in the wrong place and went, I'm going to take advantage of this. That was unbelievable how quickly and how boldly he got in. Got that entry frag. He defined what an entry frag should be. And then ring around the rosies to pick off the smoke as well, which is, you know, arguably one of the best, if not the best, but people to hold and to move whilst you're in tight quarters. Could have thrown a smoke or two down. That did not slow Nesk. He popped off those fear charges, ran around and got a frag, and you love to see it. Well, unless you're the defense, that is.
Unless you're in the defense.
Unless you're the defense.
We only used round before, but it's interesting that you mentioned shotguns on that defense as well, and they can be quite effective. And I'll never forget when England in the Year 2 Season 2 Pro League Finals went Doc shotgun. I'm not sure if it was a miscommunication or because he didn't even have the grip on it.
Fabled French shotgun.
And yeah, he absolutely destroyed everyone with it. And just I remember all the memes and things like, you know, Suzaku would make great videos about it and everything like that. And just plays like that are defined through history. And I think that these teams also have quite a number of plays like that. We've already seen quite a few things go down incredibly well for both teams. They're so experienced, and we'll see exactly what they can bring to the table. And this defense as well, while it was successful, was incredibly close, and it ended with a 3K from Bullet.
Yeah, it's the thing about when they start rolling, and you can never mention it enough. Obviously, Siege can be and is often a meta game. It's often a game where as soon as you find that pocket that you're sitting in, you just get it. The decisions come sharper. The communication when it's on point is such a big factor. And then you go to a LATAM region, and then you go to a LATAM game where it just excels. It goes to another level. It's unbelievable. When these guys start working and start rolling, it's just a joy to kind of watch and start to see it. Now, it's 5 versus 0. That is actually a new bug. It is actually a 5 versus 5. It's come out from the patch today. Don't let that fool you. It's not just 5 alibis. They are real defenders. It's the joy of Siege patch day.
Yeah, definitely. Let's move into the action phase now, round number 4, and see exactly how it's going to go down for FaZe Clan, and see how they can hold onto this defense. But it's been fairly successful for them so far, but as I said, has been pretty close. I'd be kind of surprised if Liquid tried to do the same thing last time, where they tried to sort of fake plant on this sort of default spot. But, I mean, we'll see how it goes down. We seem still pretty aggressive holds coming out here from FaZe. Have kind of changed up their strategy just a little bit, it seems, as I don't think Astro is playing on those server stairs anymore. So we're seeing a little bit more conservative strategy coming out from them. Oh no, Astro is playing on the server stairs, so it's still fine from them. But yeah, again from Liquid being very thorough with their drone work, just going top to bottom, roam clear, not taking any chances whatsoever, because they know how sneaky FaZe can be with these things. They know how sneaky everyone can be with these things, and they're just going to slowly get into service. Now, last time, it took them 2 minutes and 15 seconds to get into servers and get control. Normally by that point, it spells disaster, but they made it work. We were going to see service hatch is indeed going to get opened up. They're going to try and just push all the way back in downstairs to see what's going on. There's 1 minute left to go on the board. We're not seeing too much action coming out from either side just yet, but FaZe have no reason to get aggressive.
That is exactly it. But again, 50 seconds left. They're trying to find a way. Astro's done a very good job, and people always question, you know, what is a roamer's job, what is a roamer's role, and buying time, eating up time and eating up ability is always so important. And whether it doesn't look like he's doing a huge amount on that staircase, or he is, just him existing there stops Liquid from being able to push it as hard as he can. And now they only have about 40-30 seconds to get in and get this fun. It's still a fair chunk of time, but they're up against, obviously, a Maestro. They're up against about smokes to deal with. They have so much potential utility, the ability to see any kind of air attacking as well. This is where it's starting to grow. You can see so much is being thrown across. The smokes go down. Zig storms right through and goes for a plant in the smoke. Astro drops Sexy Cake over the shoulder. Astro with the double and Bullet drops Mav in the exchange. Cameraman manages to pick up Nest with that A-Cook PSK in the midst of it. Cameraman gets PSK and the double there as the end to get Bullet as well. Wow.
I think Zig missed his calling as an Olympic sprinter, because he just sprinted all the way into that side. Despite the fact there was a Maestro cam that was watching them the entire time do that, he got so far into that side before he got killed. In fact, he almost got the diffuser down during all of that. So really well done by Zig to... You've really got to trust your teammates if you're going to do something like that.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And to be fair, just before that, we did mention they have a lot to look against that kind of push. They had the Maestros, as you said. They had so much utility to throw into just smokes in a midst. Because, yeah, there's a smoke there. And if the attackers throw smokes, especially with how we've seen these guys play, they like to push in and amongst the smoke. They live for being in that. And they've got some amazing frags out of it at the same time. So, yeah, you're throwing your pocket utility out there to try and just hope for a kill, but the amount of times you get a kill, it's worth it. It's always worth it.
I like the idea by Liquid here to not want to plant in that default spot because they know it's going to take time, and time that they haven't had really at all. They've had a very slow roam clear on Bank so far, and by the time they actually get to go for the plant, they don't really have time to start bait out utility. But honestly, there isn't actually huge amounts of plant denial coming out from FaZe on these defenses, so I feel like they still could have done that. They still could have just baited out utility on default. They still could have just pushed in, tried to plant, and then come out. Doing that whole thing where Zig just rushes all the way in, or where they try and go for a fake plant somewhere else, it works, but only in cases where the defense is relying on their utility to remove the plant and don't tend to take as many gunfights as FaZe do. But we've seen that Cameraman pushed all the way up. We saw huge frags coming out from both sides, but mostly into the favor of FaZe. And I think, again, mostly because of the very entrenched position that FaZe had. And their ability to take those gunfights was fine because they weren't relying on their utility to deny the plant.
Definitely true. You can see, obviously, Cameraman setting up a standard castle setup. Mav still playing down in servers, wanting the roam clear to be caught out there by a pulse a bit early. Obviously, the Echo is back. Astro is going to be holding the same place they had before. They might try and clear it a little bit differently. Obviously, the beautiful 2 picks there from Astro the previous time they held this point. But at the same time, this was one where Nesk got quite deep in. However, this time Nesk is playing more utility role, feeding out the information.
Oh. That's an Echo drone off the board already. Beautiful from Nesk, already bringing that out of it. And the ADS, that's already huge amounts of utility off the board. Of course, Nesk won't actually realize that, but I think he does see that there is another Echo drone there. So if he takes down that one as well, that's a huge amount of utility already gone from FaZe.
Exactly what you love to see from an IQ as well.
It's almost like we should have taken an IQ earlier.
It's almost like, yeah, IQ has still a role. Obviously, she does get picked a bit less since they're in her frags, but that in no way belittles what she can bring to a team as an operator, especially when, yeah, last time you were on this point, you know that there was an Echo, and you know the Echo was causing you trouble as well. And I believe they bought an IQ, but they didn't use the IQ. Now that is Nesk taking that role, giving Sexy Cake the Sophia and saying, I'm going to go clear up downstairs. Let's not do what we did.
Definitely has started to move all the way down. He is going to get hit by that Yokai drone. It's going to be drawing it all on out. PSK just constantly on that support role, just doing God's work there, just running it all out. And Bullet's drone does proceed up the stairs. Sexy Kate gets rid of the barbed wire for it and does proceed all the way up. Doesn't actually get picked at all, so he is going to be able to drone out as well on Astro. And Astro just completely won FaZe this defense last time. But what? Cameraman, he's on the floor. What are you doing there? Cameraman gets another kill as well. What is he doing there? Mav gets a kill onto Zig as well, turns it to a 2v5, but not before Bullet instantly trades him back out. Cameraman tries to drop down Banana, but PSK will be the wiser and takes him down. 2v3 situation now, not looking too good at all for Liquid. But wow, insane plays coming out from Cameraman. 30 seconds left to go. Looks like PSK will start to put his utility down into the elevator, convinced that Astro must still be there. But he did actually drop down the hatch and is rotating up onto the stairs. Hopefully they do realize this now, as Bullet is going to hop around onto Banana, but won't realize that Moringa was right there watching him, waiting for him to do it. Moringa with a double kill as well, takes down PSK, and FaZe Clan take round number 5 in an insanely... I don't know if that was the smartest play or the dumbest play from Cameraman, but wow, did it work effectively.
Wow, the Nesk IQ can see drones and drop drones through 2 floors, but unfortunately could not see the man lying 5 feet in front of them, and then getting another one. They picked up the second
just
kill.
Think about that angle for a second that Cameraman was holding. Not only is he in the middle of the room with 0 cover, he is lying down, and being prone, if you get quick peeked or anything like that, is such a horrible position to be in because it's so hard for you to change positions to get into cover.
And it's a death sentence, especially as oftentimes, if there was ever a point where people have complained about they're bugging through. Their model is not where they think it is.
Well, I mean, for cameraman, it wasn't even that, but I see your point that it just happens sometimes. But this is one of the situations where you go into a ranked game and you think that, okay, he's going to be peeking from that angle. I know he's going to be over there. So you peek and you pre-fire it, and then you die from someone who was lying down in the middle of the hallway, and then they tell you, oh, well, it worked. And that basically sums up my own ranked experience. But we are going to get round into round number 6, and we are going to see the first defenses coming out from Liquid and see how they're going to take it, and they are going to go CEO first. So, yeah, exactly what I said, that the lack of the book is going to bring in that CEO defenses, I think, quite a lot here.
We're seeing a little bit more soft destruction for the first time. Obviously, it's changed halves, but the sledge of Map alongside Sophia of Astro. So it'll be interesting to see. They've also got full hard destruction. How they're going to start rolling this at this point.
Don't forget, we've also got the Jackal, who has that secondary shotgun, which can act as a replacement role for Book in a small way. And yeah, if Tel's control goes into the favor here, it could be pretty good. I'm kind of hoping that Liquid have a pretty good roam game, maybe in the form of Zig, who's actually going to go for the run out here. Okay, no, he doesn't complete the run out, he does put a Valkyrie camera down, but he might actually play that area kind of aggressively, maybe down in the garage, because I feel like the only reason you would put that camera down when you don't have any sort of massive ACOGs, like MP5 sort of ACOGs on your team, is that you would go for runouts over peaking.
It's always that kind of balance, and it's a team that we've seen. I mean, we've seen peak with a myriad of guns and pull off beautiful shots and beautiful pixel kills as well. They are very good at just kind of changing the balance of how you can be aggressive on a map, especially how you can kind of look at being aggressive on a map. But you can start to see them closing down on square skylight stairs. Drones as well, they're being a little bit slow and steady. We've said this about FaZe a few times tonight. They've really been on top of their drone game. They've been clearing out ahead of players. Sexy Cake is playing in front of the castle there with the rotation hole next to it on the Maestro. So they're kind of a first port of call there for aggression, just in case anyone pushes from Banana side and Lobby side. However, yet to see how they decide to close down as FaZe, again, 40 left on the clock. Still loads of time, but they are steadily closing down in this 5v0. Cameraman getting the Jackal hits, being led around the corner by a drone. 14 meters out. How do you decide to push this castle at this point, especially what they are thinking?
A bomb has been located.
Yeah, definitely, but we are going to see FaZe Clan do manage to take control over most of this east side, and it looks like they should be able to get something going down here sooner rather than later. It looks like they are waiting for that banditry to come through here from Bullet. It's like nades are going to come down to stop him from doing that. It's like flashbangs should come out, or maybe even nades from Mav here. What a nade from Mav! Ness gets caught out there. How ironic, being a Jaeger and dying to a frag grenade, as cameraman is going to peek around into the Genesis closet. That hard reach is opened up onto square stairs, but don't forget, we still have Zig on the roam, so we could save the day here with that Nitro from below. It's 45 seconds left to go on the clock. Liquid still have pretty good control over the site, but they are slowly losing it, and they don't have a frag. But what a shot from Sexy Cake! Takes down a Mav, but 2 shots go down for FaZe as PSK takes down Astro. And PSK pushing down into the hallway, trying to find a gunfight, but just going to retreat just a little bit back. Zig is dead through all of that, so this PSK goes down. And all down to 6K, they know exactly where he is, but he has the Maestro LMG, does manage to down Moringa, and it's all down to Sexy Cake in a 1v2. The diffuser has gone down. Cameraman takes down Sexy Cake, and that's beautiful attacking coming out from FaZe, not getting caught out by those roamers at all, and being completely unfazed by that book ban.
I'm sure you're the first person to make that brilliant joke.
Well, actually, I made that joke during the last OGA pit.
Oh, really?
Well, so I'm bringing that back for Season 2.
It's all about throwbacks here, and so far, obviously, we are on map 3, and if we're talking throwbacks, that was the map that FaZe took 6-1. They did 6-1 bank as well, so it's exciting to see whether they can pull that off again as we go into this 5-1 situation. Their attack there looked precise, it looked clean, it looked everything you kind of want on an attack on that site. They very quickly opened up those walls and started to just collapse and execute around a defense that struggled to get those counter peaks now. But we head to the complete opposite side of this building as we drop all the way down to lockers and CCTV in the basement.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely the safer play here, right? They tried to go CEO because they were trying to maybe push into their operator bands just a little bit, and you can see that FaZe just sort of right through it. They knew exactly where they were going to go, and they reacted accordingly. But they are going to go for the safer bet here. We're going to see the Thatcher coming in as a 6th pick accordingly for that. I like the operator lineup, though, from Liquid here. I would have liked to see an Echo and a Maestro here, but I love the fact this is a Pulse here, because a Pulse playing in gold and playing on service stairs, either of those positions or even both of those positions, is so good to play. And just having the amount of info that you can get from that, from playing a Pulse in either of those positions, can be huge for a team that's trying to deny the plant going down. And yeah, I think at that point you don't even really need an Echo or a Maestro for that.
I think, obviously everyone likes to hold this. I think a Maestro is always nice to see on this point, just again counter the way that these guys like to play it. The way you like to see through it. Now they have the information feed either side. You can see they're setting up Ziggs Black Eyes above. Nesk is playing an open, chilling for now. Trying to hope, I guess, to pick up around the side and get a really nice flank against the staircase that is often pushed, waiting for the opening into open, as they still keep digging their holes down below. Astro seems to be wanting to clear again. It's what FaZe have been doing very well. Their drone game and their clearing game. They fought pretty similar lineups before. Instead, they've swapped out Sledge for Thatcher to get a little bit more control at dropping those very important server room walls.
Yeah, they will do so, but we see Liquid with a pretty aggressive roam game still coming out, as Ness going to be playing around Statel's office. Not often you see a Legion roam, and not often you see so many roamers on this particular objective, but Nesk, one of the roamers, is going to get the first kill of the round. Astro going to go down already. That is a pretty big pick to go down so early on, and FaZe aren't having a good job with their roam clear so far. And as you said, their drone game has been pretty on point throughout the series, but right now it's pretty lacking the fact that they either didn't pick up on the fact that Nesk was in tellers, or the fact that they only sent Astro after him and there was no refrag opportunity.
Definitely, and I think one big thing to say about their roam clear, to be fair, is when they've been doing it a lot, it generally hasn't seemed to have met too many speed bumps. And against a team like Liquid, where obviously the map that they won, they were playing very aggressive. They weren't even letting FaZe get into the building at certain points. But just having these guys, these many guys playing off point, could eat up a lot of time. However, they are now breaking straight through onto point, and we just saw that Sexy Cake is still top floor. So it'd be interesting to see how they decide to rotate background to try to counter-take. He's going to drop straight on. Nesk, again, is still above, has that drop down, which is so vital. You can see the diffuser goes down, manages to take Zig, but Mav shoots upwards. He had the high ground, Anakin, but did not care to take down Nesk.
To be 45 seconds left to go on the clock. Moringa peeks around, but Bullet says no. Takes him down. Going to be yelled down to Cameraman. He pushes all the way back. Mav takes down Bullet. Cameraman just being thrown next to this door. And so many roamers still on the board. What? Mav just pushes all the way through with the diffuser and goes down. It's going to be all into the hands of Cameraman now in a 2v1. Recovers the diffuser in red hole and goes for the peaks, but can't find a fight. But Zig's right there. What? No! What just happened? Zig finally goes down. And there we go. It's all down to Cameraman. He has the diffuser, but Sexy Cake does manage to return back into the site. Cameraman very aware that there could be a rotate back in. He could be in B. He just no idea where Sexy Cake is, just lying down. He's got the shotgun in hand. The Nitro goes out, and it does find Cameraman. Team Liquid stay in this game for at least one more round.
Well, there was a lot you could say about the collapse back down point there, but in the end, obviously having Sexy Cake roaming until what was the last 20 seconds before they closed back in was pretty big, obviously, in terms of taking how that worked out. But you can see Cameraman on 11-5 frags there as well, having been an absolute stormer of a game. It'll be interesting to see if they can. I mean, they've pulled back on that 5-4 before. Luckily, Ness rejoins, don't have to do a rehost, which is always nice. It'll be interesting to see if they can start pulling back these rounds on their defense, or if FaZe can lock in to their first attack that they seem to do so fluidly.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was a pretty good attack from FaZe. Again, we've seen about how good their roam color has been throughout the series, but the one round they really needed the perfect roam clear, it fell apart so quickly, and right at the end, Cameraman had absolutely no intel. He had no idea where that pulse was,
Nope.
and I was really disappointed to see there's no flank watching drones coming out from FaZe, or if there were, they were destroyed very early on. And, well, I mean, we'll see how it goes down as we do move
Defenders,
into
protect your
round number
bombs from
8.
being defused by
Still
attackers.
match point to FaZe here to try and lock this series out and knock Liquid into that lower bracket. But I honestly don't know how this is going to go, because Bank is fairly defend-decided, and we've already seen that proof so far. It is going to be a Teller's Archives defense coming out, however, from Liquid. I'm interested to see how this goes down. I'm also kind of surprised that Sexy Cake is going Vigil, but we have seen Sexy Cake doing so well on DKB using the CZ, so maybe that will transfer quite well to Vigil.
Hopefully it'll also play into just the roam game.
5 seconds
Obviously waited until very late on to pull the pulse back towards the point.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
C4 loop
Locate
to the
and
top.
defuse the bomb.
At the same time, having that vigil and being able to just waste a bit more time and play with those drones that FaZe have, I wouldn't say rely on, but utilized quite heavily throughout their pushes, might just give them a bit more time to waste on the slow entrance phase.
Well, I mean, we've seen a Jackal come out every single round so far from FaZe, so there's no surprises there in terms of their roam clear. And they should start concentrating that a little bit more, because Liquid tend to play Bank fairly aggressively. They tend to be fairly roam heavy. FaZe should be aware of this and should be concentrating on that roam clear. But the Jackal tracking isn't really going to mean anything. You can't track the roamers. If you're only tracking people on the site, it's not really going to give you any actionable intel.
Exactly it, and obviously, to be fair, I think what we did see in the previous round at least was they started to look like they were going to close down the roamers, and then just didn't. They decided, well, let's just collapse into the point, there's not too many people there, and obviously it came back to bite them. They got a couple of return frags, but that was it. Bullet taking a bit of damage, but Ness, the one to actually pick off. What is he doing? He dropped out the window to pick off a frag, and he is just holding it tight as possible. They are just waiting to push against him. Bullet's still being spotted. There is the cleanup on Nesk. Threw himself out to take care of Twitch.
Jaeger for a Twitch, I would say that's completely worth it for Nesk, and the amount of time that he just wasted in order to try and get someone from FaZe to rotate to try and deal with him, and he had the cover coming out from Bullet. You know, that was going pretty well for them so far. Sexy going to peek it out, but it's going to be Astro who does manage to successfully shut down Bullet, but what a shot from Sexy Cake. Takes the head clean out of Astro. Nice refrag in the last minute of the round now. And wow, such a powerful roam game coming out still from Sexy Cake. Still in this top floor area, still messing about around here. Cameraman, but the reactions of a potato will not be able to find the kill. Still being Legion, but no, Sexy Cake! He takes the kill away from him. Beautiful. And Mav still can't find the refrag. Sexy Cake is still up here. He's still finding frags. He's still all over the place. But finally, Yuna shuts him right on down. It's a 2v2, but the amount of time that Sexy Cake just wasted may have just won Liquid the round. Let's see who it goes down. So the last 30 seconds starts to eclipse here. And Mav is going to try and rotate down main stairs as Yuna plays at the top of Spiral. But we're not going to see too much action from FaZe just now. They don't really have the utility to deploy already to try and make an entrance. And they've only got 15 seconds to really just push all the way in. He's just trying to open up the barricades here. Surely utility is going to start coming out from Capital here to try and make the entrance, but so many smoke days are going to come out from PSK, and he moves all the way in, but Zig with a shotgun is going to take down Yuna and Mav. The Echo shotgun saves the day. That's going to be Liquid take round number 8 and stay in this for yet one more round.
Now, we did question, obviously, the Vigil decision there, and we said it's probably just to waste time, and boy, was time wasted there. Sexy Cake almost playing with them on that top floor and baiting them around. Tom and Jerry-esque beautiful control over an attacker side that just seemed panicked as they went for the push. Obviously, Nesk's heroic leap from the third story window to pick off a frag, and then, as you said, waste time. It's so integral to take time off your attackers, especially when you've seen how FaZe is playing on their attacks. They're playing slow, they're playing steady. You eat 20 seconds, 30 seconds when they're normally hitting the point with only originally 40 seconds left. That puts them in the exact spot we just saw them in.
Absolutely beautiful plays coming out here from Liquid and really bringing it back as they will go for yet another CEO defense, which has been the only defense that they've taken. Hasn't worked out successfully, but we're actually going to see the Montaigne for the very first time this series coming out from Yuna, as we see Mav 6-pick onto the IQ and PSK 6-pick onto the castle here. I'm wondering if FaZe Clan are actually expecting a CEO defense here, because by the fact that taking the Monty, I feel like they were expecting an open office defense.
Yeah, especially as this was the one point that they took it said very cleanly and very well, and they brought a generally completely different lineup to do it. So I don't know, maybe they can find a way to make it work on this point. I mean, every pro team has the ability to make most lineups work, not every lineup. So it just will be a very different take to what they did last time. Obviously, we're seeing Zig bringing out the Echo drone as well. You have the castle. You have such a solid setup of defenders here as a way of stopping shields and slowing down Monty. I think the only thing missing in a Monty's nightmare here is that hey, you don't need every nightmare to slow the roll of the big front shield.
Yeah, no, definitely don't need that at all.
Attackers dropped
A little bit surprised we aren't seeing a Legion still from Liquid, because Bullet did take that last time, but I suppose you do need the Bandit here, at least to try and Bandit trick the square stairs wall. But we are going to see action phase getting underway just now as Liquid try and take a hold of the CEO. They don't have as much of a roam presence as they did last time, because he's Sexy Cake on the Valkyrie, sorry, this time, rather than Zig, who's now going to be playing on the Echo, and I'm going to guess he's got the Echo shotgun as well, as the Montaigne starts to move all the way through. We see all of FaZe stacked all the way up into the lobby, trying to make their way onto the spiral stairs and push all the way up here. Now, if you remember, this is kind of reminiscent of what Liquid did during their attack up here. It was Astro playing in Elevate, who trying to shut all this way down. Flashbangs are going to go out, as well as Zofia charges, and FaZe Clan slowly start to make their way up spiral.
See that obviously instantly Monty is struggling against what is a barrage of utility and ability. Sexy Cake tore the C4 but did not throw, and Monty has found a way to dig all the way upstairs. Echo is pinging off. They need to work as a team here to drop it, and we've seen great Echo teamwork before already. This is a little bit of back and forth. Bullet drops Cameraman as he tries to cycle up these stairs. There's Monty trying to push against it, and Nest killing Sexy Cake in the midst of killing Astro. How unfortunate to drop your own player. It was Valkyrie, so it's not the end of the world, but you never want that on your stats board at the end of a game. Never good. Yuna playing around on the top of Banana there, waiting and baiting, trying to hold on as long as possible, allowing Moringa to start firing across at the people trying to put pressure. The Echo drone finally dropped by Mav. Maybe a little bit too little. That was slowed down, but Nest with another taking down. Moringa with another run out.
Absolutely beautiful plays coming out from Nest, so aggressive. He's going to leave it into Mav and Yuna, but oh, he's going to be Astro's Claymore there, just finally find Nest. Pesky Nest running all the way around. He's going to leave it all still into a man advantage for Liquid. And Zig just rotates all the way out of there. Mav does nothing about that. We'll CC and Echo Drone on the board, of course, as well. That's definitely a good way of dealing with the Monty here. Oh no, what? Yuna takes down PSK, but not before Mav goes down. It's all down to Yuna. What a shot from Yuna! What was that? Takes the head off a Bullet and turns it to a 1v1. How do you win a 1v1 against a Montaigne? You just run away from him. 15 seconds left to go. But he's actually going to try and pick up Mav here as he tries to go. Oh no! He's too close to the wall. He's going to drop the diffuser. And he's to pick it back up, tries to go for the plant, but there's an Echo Drone in on the miss. The Echo Drone's actually going to miss both of its shots. Yuna can successfully go for the plant here, and Zig cannot deny it. Beautiful plant coming out from FaZe there. It's going to be all into a 1v1. Mav going to slowly bleed out on the floor. There is no chance of saving him right now. As Zig gets his Echo Drone out, it does have its charge back. Bullet finally does get that kill onto Mav as he bleeds out, and Zig finds the Montaigne. But yeah, there's just no way that you win this unless you pull off something absolutely incredible. And you're just going to be constantly baiting him out here. He knows how to play this perfectly. The Montaigne just going to be constantly baiting out Zig here to see what he can do. Does still have the Echo Drone, does still have the charge on it. He's going to use it actually to try and bait out the Yuna, but no. He gets the extendable shield out yet again. Yuna peeks it out, takes down Zig. And it's going to be GG well played as FaZe Clan take the series 6-4.
Well, that whole end segment is something that is on a Montaigne.
6-3, sorry. No,
6-3, Montagne players highlight reel. Unbelievable. The whole end plant period, the missing of the echo drones, going to revive, dropping the diffuser and picking it back up. My gosh, I was open mouthed for the entire end of that. That was unbelievable, and what a way to end the third map in what was a very competitive game between those two juggernauts of Latam.
Absolutely incredible series coming out between Team Liquid and FaZe. However, we'll say goodbye to Team Liquid for now as they proceed down into the lower bracket. We'll get into our next match sooner rather than later. In about a 10-minute break, we'll see you then.